All right, what is going on today, chat? Just making sure everything's good. What is up? Midwest, welcome. Just preparing for episode 30 here for grade review. And I'm just checking to see if anyone is over on TikTok side, if you guys are having issues with seeing me currently. So it looks like my stream is good, but when I'm looking at it on my phone, it looks like it's buffering pretty bad. So if anyone in chat could tell me on the TikTok side if things are looking good for you guys or if the frame rate is bad. My Streamlabs says that it's good, but a part of me does not believe it. But welcome in. While I'm waiting, this is grade review, episode 30. So for those of you who are new here, my name is Galaxy Gaming, and every Wednesday we review the community members' cards for free that are submitted in our Discord. And both myself and chat will give our assessment on what we think these cards would get as a PSA grade. And it's pretty straightforward, completely for free. And we have a pretty good lineup tonight. So again, if you guys are over on TikTok or seeing any buffering issues, it doesn't look like it is on my Streamlabs, but it does look like there is some issues possibly on my secondary device, but I don't know if that's just my data or not. So definitely let me know if you guys are noticing some issues. So let me get this squared away. All right. So first up, we have the Articuno from Fossil. So let's just get this nice and frame here, and we will go right into it. Perfect. All right, so the first thing I'm going to be looking at here is the centering. So the centering looks to be a little bit thicker on this left side than it does the right. Cass, welcome. So it's a little off center. Corner's looking really good. The text looks good. Let me use my little magnifier tool here. And the only thing that I'm really seeing is that there are some scratches on the hollow foil specifically. And aside from that, I'm not really seeing too much else wrong with this card, which is really good. So the front of this is in really good shape. Let's take, that is, I am closing out of them. I'm gonna say that is not the back of the Articuno. Let's try that again, shall we, chat? There we go. All right, so the back of the Articuno, so there's the front. Get these all organized again. There we go. So, oh, you gotta love the OGs. And just for the record, if over on TikTok, if you guys don't mind just letting me know if it's a little bit glitchy on your end or if it's just my data, I'd appreciate it. My secondary device is looking pretty laggy, but I don't know if it's just my my data or not. But anyway, the back is a little off center as well on this right side compared to the left. But hopefully you guys are having a good Wednesday. Let's take a look here. Corners look good on this side. Let me just save that real quick. Let's see. Looking good so far? Okay, thank you. Yeah, it just must be my phone then. Because I'm on data, and I don't want to suck up my bandwidth, so I appreciate that. So the only thing that I really see on the back is a little bit of whitening in that bottom right-hand corner, and some dust particles, it almost looks like, right here on this side, but we can probably get that wiped away with a microfiber or something along those lines. But for the most part, looking pretty good, this Articuno. First edition, mind you. So for those of you who are coming in here last minute, we're looking at this Articuno first edition from Fossil. The front didn't really have too much going on with it, to be honest. It was just this left side is a little bit thicker than the right, and some scratches on the hollow foiling, but not a whole lot. And as we kind of go to the back, we just had a little bit of whitening on that back part, and I closed it out again. Man, the stream is going crazy today. There we go. So there we go. Boom. All right. So how this works, if you guys want to vote and weigh in on what you think this Articuno would be, you can kind of see now below the card on TikTok side and over on YouTube, the way to vote on what you think this Articuno would get is you simply type in !vote followed by the number you think this card would get. So if you think this card would get a PSA 8, you would hit !vote 8, and it will tally up all the votes together, and then that will be the chat vote. So this is the front of the Articuno, and then this is the back. The only thing, again, that I noticed on the back is just a little bit of whitening in the bottom right-hand corner, but that was pretty much it. So while you guys are voting, if you need me to flip it back and forth, be more than happy to do so. And I'm going to catch up with chat here. So yeah, hopefully you guys are doing good. Again, the beginning of the stream was a little bit scuffed in the beginning, but I think we got it. I think we got it a little bit. It might be my computer is trying to upload a lot of my raw footage from my Google Drive up into the cloud, and I think that had something to do with it. But we're seeing if this is just going to be an all-night thing or not. If it gets too bad, definitely let me know over on TikTok side, but I don't want to keep talking about it. But yeah, hopefully you guys are having a good one. So we got some 8s and 7s. So looks like chat, you guys are voting 8. So just do a little bit of, put that right there. So chat is voting 8. There we go. So now I get to look at the card myself, and let's see what this thing would get. So what do I think this Articuno from first edition Fossil would get? So I think the left side's a little bit thicker than the right, so it's a tad bit off center. But besides that, we really don't have a whole lot going wrong with the hollow. Maybe a little bit of scratches in that hollow foil, but not too much, which is really good. So if we flip it over, oh my god, I'm gonna do that every time. So if we flip it over, really the only thing that I noticed was this whitening in the bottom right hand corner. And as for some of these little like white specks on the left side, I think those can probably just be removed with a microfiber cloth, so nothing too crazy. So I think based off of that is really just the centering issue. Hey Random, how's it going? I also agree that this probably would get the 8 as well. So for a vintage Fossil first edition, especially for the Articuno, that's pretty good. So next up, well, normally I don't have issues, Vic. I think it was just I stopped the download and I kind of got stuck. Because all my testing on Streamlabs sides suggests that it's good, but I just have to. You wish you had OG? Yeah. You're never too late though. OG has been printed like crazy. Jeff, thanks so much for following the live. I appreciate that. But I'm running 16. But normally I haven't had issues. I'm not gonna keep fixating on it. The stream is going, and I just have to kind of get through it. It's just that I again tried to put a too big of a download in my drive by accident. Welcome. All right, so next up we have the. I open up a base booster box of base set Scarlet and Violet. Nice. Well, hopefully you pulled something good. All right, so next up we have the Lapras. Lapras from Fossil Unlimited this time around. So let's take a look. The centering is actually really good on this one, to be honest. The only thing that I see maybe is a little bit of either dirt or it's either dirt or a hair. I'm not too sure. Oh, there you go. Can't complain about that. So I don't know if that is dirt or hair, but the holo of this card looks immaculate for sure. So super good start for that Lapras. And on the back, let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can see what I'm looking at. So on the back, the Dinies. Thanks, Vic. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, let's see. And then on the back, does look a little bit thicker on the right side. And we have some whitening there as well. Honestly, I think this is the same. If that's either a hair or something, that can probably be removed, but I'm honestly thinking the same grade for this Lapras. Yeah, it's a very clean matte Lapras cane for sure. You have the Miraidon and Gardevoir. Nice. So yeah, I'm thinking, honestly, chat, I'm thinking this is probably an 8 right off the rip for the art, like the Articuno was. Gifts help you get up on the For You page, Send wrote. Oh, I appreciate that, Vic. Nice Lapras, thank you. Appreciate that very much. Kane, thanks so much for following. I appreciate that very much. All right, so Kane, that was yours. I don't know if it's the same. I don't think so because you just followed, but who we just reviewed was actually a subscriber named Kane. So what'd you think? Keep it from the 9. Little OC, the whitening in the bottom right, and some very, very, very small scratches on the front. But who knows? But that's really all I saw in the beginning. And let's see. Edges lift on the bottom. Yeah, centering was a little off on the front, but not by much. All right, next up we have Civic submission. So Civic has been here since the beginning. So he has some really cool cards for us to kind of look at today. A lot of EXs, which is really cool. So first up, we have the Celebi. So let's take a look at this Celebi. So centering looks good. The only thing that I see so far is we potentially have a little bit of issue here in that top right-hand corner. Besides that, the edges look good. The corners look good besides that top right. This is very scratched, I will say. Pretty much this entire foil is scratched. So everything inside of this green box that I'm highlighting is pretty scratched. So we do have that going against it. So let's save that. And these are just some other angles, so we can again see some of those scratches. We even have possibly a bit of dirt or something on the eyebrow of the Celebi that can probably be removed. But yeah, it is a little bit messed up, that's for sure. But definitely loved. You can kind of see a little bit more of that top right hand corner kind of peeling up what I highlighted here on the first picture. So again, these are just more angles, and you can really see that hollow pattern really kind of just plagued with scratches. So we're definitely out of the near mint category, that's for sure. Fitzy, thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate that. But I think really that that these two little black dots on the forehead can probably be removed. And it may also look like I can't really confirm or not. But it does look like that there might be either scratches or dents here and here on that left side with that new angle, because before we couldn't really see anything on that left side, but over on this side we can kind of see two potential scratches or two potential creases. I'm not too sure. But and then the back, I mean, I don't even really need to use the tool for this one. It's pretty much just like whitening all of these corners, all on this side for the most part. Corners. Hey Keith, how's it going? Got this side. Pretty much, I mean, it's literally the entire edge of this card. I'm just kind of doing this for documentation's sake. Can I send you pictures of my cards to look at? Absolutely, Tim. Absolutely. The once I'm done with this Celebi, just remind me and I'll break down how to submit your cards. That puppy is in rough. Yeah, the back of this card is in really rough shape, Keith. I agree for sure. But so yeah, there's a lot of, so really the notable pictures, I'm going to kind of clean this up here a little bit. So really the notable pictures from this Celebi is this angle where pretty much just highlighting the entire hollow is scratched. The corner, that top right hand corner is bent. In addition, maybe these ones on the left side are also bends. And then the entire back is just destroyed. So yeah. So now you guys have had a chance to see this Celebi both on the front and the back. So both on YouTube and TikTok. If you want to type in !vote followed by the number you think this card would get, it will add up all the scores and it will give me the winning vote, which will be the chat vote. So again, if you guys want to weigh in on what you think this card would get, just type in !vote followed by the number, and that will be you'll kind of accumulate the chat grade. So while you guys are doing that, I'm going to catch up with chat. So again, it's going to be !vote followed by the number you think this would get. I have Toon Moon Kitties, which are, in my opinion, PSA 10s worthy, but it looks like you're more experienced. Well, I mean, I try my best to take a look for sure. But yes, like what Vic Collects was saying, the best way to submit your cards for a free grade review is by going to my website, which is the same as it's spelled here, which is galaxiagamingtcg.com. And in the social section, if you go into the Discord icon, it'll give you an invite link, and then there's a grade review channel in there. You just submit your pictures, make sure to follow the rules, and it's completely for free. And we review every Wednesday. Yes, YouTube can participate as well, because basically the command, the !vote, kind of goes into one system, and then will ultimately give me the grade, the chat grade. So it's a nice little feature of the multi-stream for sure. Thanks for the heart, Vic. Appreciate that. So yeah, just a fun little thing that I like to offer to the community, and I'm glad you guys are continuing to enjoy it. With especially this is episode 30. I've been doing this for 30 episodes straight, so always excited to do it. So I'm just waiting for the final votes here. Yeah, this is also a nice little exercise too, to kind of, you know, help out and give a unbiased opinion on what I think some of these cards would get. And if you're just wondering what they might get instead of paying PSA and going through the process, and you don't really care about it, this is a nice alternative too. I know, 30 episodes, Vic. I really can't believe it. It's pretty crazy, to be honest. I've been doing these a lot. All right, so it looks like the chat vote is going to be... So chat is thinking... a PSA 6 is chat's vote. Okay, let me just do this. Sure, why not? Carry that over. And it should save. Yes, it does. Perfect. Hey, Stanks, how's it going? Welcome back. Nice to see you again. All right, so what do I think this Celebi EX would get? So the notable thing that I've seen is really this top right-hand corner is a little bit bent. In addition to a lot of scratching on that hollow texture with the Celebi. I mean, practically the entire card is scratched. And as we look at the other angle, in addition to seeing some dirt that we can probably get removed on the forehead of the Celebi, we have potential 2 creases on this left side, which is going to have a pretty significant impact on the grade. And then the entire back of this is just whitened. All 4 corners, essentially all 4 edges too, are just straight worn. So what I normally think when we start to look at cards like this is whether or not I believe that this is either light play or moderately played. And normally if I think a card is light play, it would then warrant like a PSA 6 in most cases, not all cases, but in most cases. And so I'm thinking that with this Celebi in particular, that I don't think it would warrant the 6. I really do think that because of the amount of scratching on the hollow, especially with these potential creases or bends on that left side and the whitening on the back, I'm probably gonna give it so chat was saying a 6. I probably would say if those are bends, so basically if these are creases on that left side, I'm gonna say it's a 4. If it's not, I would probably say a 5. So that'd be kind of my assessment. Doug, thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate that. What's going on? Not much, Hits. We're doing grade review. So this is a community member who submitted their cards into our Discord to be reviewed free during our weekly grade review live stream. And so right now we just finished up with his Celebi, and now we're moving on to his Espeon EX. Can whitening on the front of the card be fixed? It really depends, Doug. I would say the best way for me to really like answer that question for you is if you submit your cards into the grade review. I can kind of look on live and then kind of be better to be like, hey, you know, this edge is kind of folding over this direction. You know, you can probably push it back that direction or something like that. But it's kind of hard for me to give you a solid answer because I don't. Sometimes it's different. Where is the Discord to submit your cards? Yeah, so if you go to my website, which is galaxiagamingtcg.com, and in the social section, just go to where the Discord icon is. You click that, you join the Discord, you click the check mark to verify your access, and then in the Greater View channel, there you can see all the different cards that people submit, and you just submit your cards there. You can submit as many as you want. You could submit like hundreds of cards if you really wanted to, not at the same time, but it is limited to 5 cards per person per week, and it is first come first serve. So that's pretty much the gist. All right, next up we have the Espeon EX. So let's take a look. So it is a little bit thicker on this left side than it is on the right, so slightly off center. We are seeing some scratches on that chest there of the Espeon, and this is as much of the picture as we can get. So from this angle, it looks really good. But this angle, I'm actually going to kind of close this. This angle is where you can kind of see some of these scratches a little bit more up close. So we have some here. We have some here, here, here. Some here, here. So just like very, you know, this card was definitely in and out of a sleeve. So it's a little bit worn, as to be expected, but not nearly as bad as the Celebi for sure. And man, the back is not nearly as bad as that Celebi either. I mean, this left corner looks really good. This right corner only has a little bit of whitening there. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have very, very mild whitening on that back part. I think I've asked this before. Are damaged cards worth sending in to grade? It really just depends. I mean, I don't want to keep having that be my answer, but you know, without knowing what you think the card would get as a PSA grade, because like for example, if you have like a gold, like a Charizard Delta species like Gold Star, you know, that card's going to be worth getting graded because it's just such a high valued card. But if it's like a modern card, you know, like a Dragonite V from Evolving Skies, and it's like, and it's bet in half, that's not worth it. But I just don't know what card it is. That's kind of the answer. But then I don't know to what extent the damage is, so that's why it's nice with these grade reviews. I can kind of mark your cards up like this and really have a determination on what that card would get for a PSA grade, and then you can determine from there if it's actually worth grading or not. Oh, nice, Rips. That'll be super cool to see what that comes back as. All right, so that is the damage that I've seen on this Espeon. A lot better than the Celebi. So I'm going to open it up to both YouTube and TikTok. So if you guys want to vote on what you think this Espeon EX, very beautiful card by the way, would get as a PSA grade, again, just type in !vote followed by the number, and it will tally all the votes from both YouTube and TikTok into one, and it will ultimately give me the chat grade. So again, if you guys want to vote on what you think this Espeon would get, so here is the front, here's another angle. The green just is kind of highlighting some of the scratches I was able to see, and then the back, I just circled some mild whitening. So again, if you want to vote on what you think this Espeon EX would get, just type in !vote followed by the number, and that will be the chat grade. But yeah, for sure. I'm glad you guys, honestly, I'm glad you guys really like this style of content too. You know, it's honestly really tough. It's tough to make, you know, educational content entertaining is really hard. But I just think, especially like if you guys get anything out of this, right? It's at the very least, if you have no intentions on getting this stuff graded, at the end of the day, these tools and what we can kind of look for will help you look at raw cards like in person. So like if you see a card that, you know, is over assessed or under assessed, sometimes you can get better deals because of it, or avoid bad deals because if they're charging near mint prices, but you can see a pretty obvious like scratch or dent or ding or whatever, that you're like, oh, it's a light play, then you wouldn't buy it or something like that. So hey Phoenix, so far you've missed, if you're just coming in right now, you missed a Articuno and a Lapras. Articuno and a Lapras. And a Celebi EX. But not too much. I was told recently PSA is going to be as harsh on grading cards with print lines. I was told recently PSA is going to be more harsh, or not going to be as harsh. I personally haven't heard it. Normally, like when I hear PSA news, I normally look at their Twitter. That's kind of like where my kind of verification of what they're saying is true or not. Because I'm not in the camp of, you know, kind of falling to hearsay and getting caught up in all that. All right, so chat is thinking a 7. So now it is time for me to review. So what do I think this Espeon EX would get? So again, on this picture, the first thing that I notice is that it's a little bit off center from the left to the right. So as we go to this other angle, we're just seeing a lot of different scratches that aren't as bad as the Celebi that we looked at before, but they are notable to where you kind of see on the green. But in terms of the back is a really good condition. So if I kind of take those marks away, so on the back, you know, at first glance, there's really not much going on, but we do have a little bit of, you know, whitening here on, more so on this right side than anything. But really, they're not that bad, to be honest. So I would probably say in the condition that we're seeing it in, and I don't see any creases like I did on the Celebi or anything like that, I also think that this card would probably be in that 7 range as well, because those are pretty mild, and the back is in really good shape. So I would also think that this would get a PSA 7. So chat is 7, and then my grade is also 7. Let's see. I had a guy just give a banged up card away because he was mad I pointed out the damage on the card. Was trying to sell it near mint. I mean, God forbid you want to look at cards and, you know, understand how to rate condition. Like, is it really that bad of a thing to give your opinion on something? Like, Dixon Cider, thanks so much for following. I appreciate that very much. And Hazy, thanks so much for sharing the live. And if I missed anyone that has followed or shared or liked the live, I really do appreciate it. It definitely means a lot, to be honest, both over on YouTube and TikTok, that you guys enjoy the style of content. And it really does mean a lot. I really have a lot of passion in kind of giving back to the community, something for free, and just, you know, being able to talk with you guys and look at really cool cards. I really appreciate it. So thank you. Oh yeah, this Umbreon EX is killer looking. These are not my cards, Jen. So for those of you who are catching this stream now, I offer a grade review every Wednesday. So this is the 30th episode that we've done. And we review cards for free for people who submitted them in our Discord. So I'll give my grade, chat will give their grade from both YouTube and TikTok. It kind of combines them together. Ooh. And it goes from there. When I go to shows, should I bring a black light? Will that show? Well, honestly, Jason, that might be a little too much. Because you don't want to, like, I'm trying to think of how I say this. So like when I go to a show, I don't bring like lights or like I used to bring like a magnifier with like an LED light, but you kind of come off, like, in my opinion, you kind of come off as, you know, being like a like too much of like an aggressive hunter, so to speak. You want to kind of like act a little like lackadaisical, or kind of like, you know, can I just see it? Oh, that looks cool, whatever. And so I would probably refrain from bringing like lights. Obviously it goes without saying you can still like look at the card and angle it in the light of the showroom or whatever. I think that's fine. But sometimes I've actually even had someone ask to be to leave from a store, which is kind of aggressive, but so I probably wouldn't like if you're there buying cards, but you can certainly do it after, for sure. So when are we getting the cleaning streams for the cards on the wall? Well, hopefully I'm going to be doing that at 9K followers on TikTok, which actually we're not too far off, to be honest. Could you explain how older cards have stamp reverse holos and what other variants there are? So there's the Legendary Collection reverses that have the firework foil. There are the reverses that have the set stamps, so like Dragon Frontiers, Unseen Forces. They have those reverses. They have just full-on reverse holos like you see for like the promos for like Southern Island is a really big one. What else, chat? What other vintage reverse rares? Those are pretty much the only one, because I really kind of consider vintage more in like the WotC or Wizards of the Coast era, but the more notable reverses that aren't just like a reverse holo are the ones that I mentioned. Jason, thanks so much for following. Appreciate that. But there's so many different ones. Do I work for PSA or a grading group? I don't, Dixon. So I have this as like a small business. And I just have been doing exactly what you're seeing. I've been doing it since 2017. And I figured, you know, if I clean, you know, because I've graded just over 1,000 cards at this point. And everything that I talk about, all the techniques that I use for cleaning, I use on my own cards, and I basically just track my accuracy and just kind of learn from my mistakes and just kind of go through there. So I basically just kind of talk about the things I've learned about. So what cards in your opinion are easier to find in good condition with a high ROI for getting graded? That's kind of tough. I mean, I would say like the easy answer for good condition is just Modern, right? Modern has far less time to be like in a binder over the years and whatever, but that's why Modern, you know, it's basically 10 or bust, which you're going to see in some of these submissions here soon. Because when I do grade review for vintage, you kind of see that I'm like really meticulous, like this Umbreon, for example, right? The centering is really good. Really the only thing that I see on here is just some scuffs on the front surface. Whereas for Modern, you really don't see a lot of these scuffs on the front because most of them are going to be pack fresh, right? So I'd say to answer your question for like ROI, it'd probably be for Modern if you're looking for PSA 10s, but it's pretty much just 10 or bust, in my opinion. In terms of an ROI, if you really, because the biggest like asterisk on that question is going to be the good condition cards. But if you can find, you know, because I think it used to be a lot easier, like pre-COVID, to find better condition cards that were vintage, like especially on like eBay or something like that. But a lot of those have been kind of gobbled up, to be honest. So it's really tough now. It is extremely tough. Or just go to garage sales. Honestly, if you're talking about ROI stuff, just go to garage sales and try to be the early bird and just ask if they have any Pokemon cards. So for this Umbreon, I'm gonna finish this real quick. So it looks like on the surface of this card, we can kind of take a look. It almost has like, there's like almost like a thumbprint here. I don't know if you guys can even see that on stream or not, but has a little bit of that and a very, very mild like surface wear. Not even scratches, which is interesting. Just a little bit of mild surface wear on the front of that. And this picture is in really good shape. There's nothing I mean, there's a little bit of some scratching here, like in between these green lines, but not bad. And you can kind of see some very mild scratches in this section, as well as this section here, but not too bad. And on the back, let's see, make sure you guys can still see it. So on the back, we have a little bit of a dent here, some whitening here, have some there, some corner issues, boom, boom. Have a little bit there. And I think that's it. And that should save. Yep. Perfect. I'm just gonna take a look at the surface real quick and see if I see anything. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Which is good. Which is always good. So really the big ones, based off what I saw, are probably gonna be these two pictures of this Umbreon EX. But yeah, so now I will open it up to you guys if you want to vote on what you think this Umbreon EX would get. Again, just type in !vote followed by the number you think this card would get to have it be entered into the chat grade. And then the winning vote, when it's all tallied up, will be the chat grade. So again, if you want to vote on what you think this card would get as a PSA grade, so here's the front of the Umbreon, and here is the back. Just type in !vote followed by the number, whether you're watching me on YouTube or on TikTok. And while you guys are voting, I saw some questions flying around I'm going to catch up with. Yes, Alex, I love this Umbreon artwork. It's so nice. Let me go and take some pictures. Are there any rules to that? Yeah, so the only rules that there are going to be, Tim, so once you're in the grade review channel, if you just tap the pinned messages, all the rules that I personally have posted are all going to be in there. So it'll tell you pretty much the do's and don'ts. Really, the big one is just, as you can kind of see, Civic does a really good job here. To where, you know, as long as there's really good lighting, the card isn't in a sleeve or a top loader, because it, you know, if we see scratches on the card and it's in a top loader, I don't know if it's the top loader, I don't know if it's the card, I don't know what it is. So as long as you follow those rules, you should be totally good. The queue is full tonight, but then it'll just be queued up for tomorrow. Honestly, the queue has been really light the last few weeks. So if you want your cards assessed for next stream, your chances are very high that if you submit at least tonight or tomorrow, that they'll be queued for next week. I've had cards come back as 8s and that can, well, I've had cards that looked worse than this come back as 7s. Like with that Sabrina's Gaze that I showed off yesterday. I'm still lost for words on how that Sabrina's Gaze got a 7. There is no shot that should have gotten a 7. And I thought it was gonna be worse. Like the fact that I'm going against that card getting a 7 should indicate that it shouldn't have gotten it. But did I miss mine? I don't think so, Oza. I just finished, well, remind me again what your, I know I've asked this to you before. Can you remind me what your Discord name is? I know, Rips. That's what I'm, well, or the $20 bill I slipped into the submission. Wink. All right. Let's see. So chat is thinking 7, which is a pretty solid assessment, to be honest. So let's take a look. So put this over here. Perfect. All right, so now what do I think this Umbreon EX would get? So the bottom part of this card was in really good shape because there was multiple pictures, so we kind of cropped it here. So really the only thing that's worth noting is just the amount of like very, very small scratches kind of on the surface of the card on the hollow section. So in this right section, you can kind of see it to where it's almost looking like scuffs more so than scratches, which to me indicates that it, you know, came out of a sleeve often or was in one of those 3-ring binder folders. But and then everything that you're seeing on here, I know it kind of looks aggressive, But this is just all the little bits of whitening that I saw on the back of the card, specifically. So if I kind of remove that, that kind of what it looks like before, and then that's what it looks like after. So, man, I would say, you know, looking at on the front and the back of this card, you know, so that's the front, and the front's looking really good aside from that. And the back, the corners for the most part are pretty sharp. I don't really know if there's anything really going on aside from whatever that is on the top. And I think I actually have that highlighted. I did, yep. Man, I'm really not too sure. I would probably think that because of the whitening, it really kind of boils down to if I think this card would be light play or near mint. And I would probably, just from the amount of whitening on the bottom and the sides, like, I would probably lean more towards light play than near mint. Just because of, like, I think really the other part of that too is just, if I kind of zoom in on this section, right, those look to me more like scuff marks than scratches. And normally that indicates that it just has gone in and out of a sleeve a lot. So I'm really thinking probably a 6. For PSA standard, but I shouldn't even say PSA standard. Their standards have been all over the place, to be honest. But I don't know. I mean, that one's kind of tough. I would say that this one would be really good to kind of look at a little bit more closely. But if this got the 7, which I mean, the Sabrina's Gaze got a 7, so I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I'm thinking more of a 6 than a 7 for the Umbreon, but pretty close though, regardless. That's why I slipped in the extra 20. Exactly. See, now you guys are getting it. So you guys get all the good tips here. Okay, so there wasn't anything on the top. So that was the other picture. But now you're getting it. Those are the tips. You only get those tips here. Ray, thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Just dropped a sub on YouTube. Nice, Phoenix. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. I was thinking of accidentally looking $100 in the submission box. Could you imagine? Yeah, you'd be getting any grade that you want, for sure. Let's see. How does PSA respond to hollow bleeds? Not so, like, they wouldn't consider like damaged or alterations or anything like that. Nor would they consider it like like an error or anything like that. Like CGC sometimes will say like a hollow bleed error or whatever. Well, PSA rarely does that. Does PSA treat that as a blemish? If you're talking about the hollow bleed, I don't believe so. Yeah, you gotta slip in that 20. All right, so next up, which I'm super excited. If you guys have been paying attention to kind of the Pokemon news world, the return of Team Rocket packs are going to be super exciting. I cannot wait for that. So let's take a look at this Caesar EX here. Centering is really good. Let's see. So kind of the same thing with this one as well. But this one doesn't have nearly as many scratches. So this one's actually in really decent shape. The only ones that I see really are like here, right there, here. But that's, from this angle, that's really all I see. And the corners are really good shape. The surface is really good shape. It's centered really well. So far, so good. It's really just the back. I think that's the other, yeah, so this is the other angle of the back as well, just in case if we need it. But yeah, I mean, we just have a little bit of something here. Have something there, here, there. Boom. Might just start doing this, actually, just making little dots. Got a little bit of surface issue going on there. let's see. So we got that. Yeah, there's really not a lot going on. Yes, that small cut for sure. Especially right here. So that's kind of a cut. Actually, do you guys like it when I just kind of like tap and just kind of highlight versus circling? I think this is a little bit, doesn't make it as aggressive. I kind of like it a little bit more. Lol Goof. Thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate that. I know 2025 is way too far away for in terms of the set release. But yeah, this Caesar is pretty clean on that front though. So there's the front, there's the back. Yeah, I think so too, Phoenix. I kind of like it. I'm probably going to do that moving forward. But all right, so now that you guys have had a chance to see this Caesar EX, now I will open it up to vote. So if you guys, again, want to vote, just type in !vote followed by the number you think the Caesar EX would get. So here is the front, and here is the back. And while you guys are doing that, I'm going to catch up with chat. Thanks, Wesley. I appreciate that. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. But yeah, I'm super excited. I'm super stoked for the Team Rocket coming back, as well as the team cards, right? So we saw En's Reshiram, we saw Lily's Clefairy, we saw a bunch of really cool cards. I'm just so stoked. I just submitted my cards for the Discord. Is it too late for a review? Tonight, unfortunately, yes, CJ. However, the queue has been pretty light as of the last few weeks, so you're pretty much guaranteed at this point if you already submitted your cards. As long as they meet the criteria, will be reviewed next week for episode 31, which is crazy. I feel like I gotta stop saying that. I consider every time I stream crazy. It's not gonna get crazy anymore if I just keep saying it over and over again. All right, so Ollie, thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate that very much. All right, so chat, you guys are thinking, and it's pretty unanimous from what I can tell. Chat is thinking a solid 7. All right, so what do I think this Caesar EX would get? So really the only thing I saw on the back was just some of these light scratches. It's really just more on the back side. And really for like the little amount, especially on like when we look at the other angle, this top part is in really good shape. And with the very, very minimal whitening on the edges, really the only thing is just this kind of scratch. Although not deep, there is a scratch on that E. And this little, like, I don't even know what this is. It's almost like weird scuffing or something in this bottom right spot. But yeah, I don't know. Cause like I feel like if I see this as it's really kind of like what it boils down to, if I just kind of talk openly, is would I think that this card is near mint if I saw this stuff in the corner, in the bottom right corner? I really don't know. Because like a part of me says like the rest of the outside is like in such good shape, like relatively speaking. But it's just like this bottom right corner is a little bit rough. So, but again, like some of the 7s I've been seeing coming back, like because I think this can be removed. I feel like this, whatever this is. But that's what I'm saying. I just think that because of this spot, that's what would make it light play for me, or even here. Because I think if you're starting to remove some of that surface layer off of the edge, I don't think it would be, I just can't see it being a 7. But, so yeah, I think I might be saying 6 again, chat. I know you guys are going to probably hate me, but I just like, again, but that's like some of these cards that I feel like are so close. I just wish we could just see what they actually come back as for grades, because that would be a really good one to like really know the answer, like the true answer to. But got a little cat break. If you guys are over on YouTube, you get to see my little cat. She's been chilling. She's been trying to catch mice as of late, so she's big chilling. She's probably gonna eat my pen, which is gonna be really annoying. Oh, Miss Faye, you gonna eat my pen? All right, so next up we have the Japanese Scyther. So let's take a look. Surface on this looks pretty clean. Centering looks good. I'm gonna have to refrain from using my actual pen. Yeah, this card is in super good shape, chat. Like the different angles of the lighting are in really good shape, and it's a first edition. I don't know if I saw that before on the other ones, but this was in pretty decent shape. Like no major hollow scratching, especially at this angle. I see really nothing. And man, because this angle looks really good, and that angle looks pretty good. Man, this card is in really good shape. Honestly, I honestly don't even really have that much marking to make on this card, to be honest. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Phoenix. This card is in super good shape. But yeah, that back definitely looks clean. Yeah, so I don't know, chat. What do you guys think? I'm gonna open up the poll a little early. There's really not much for me to write up on this. This card looks, the centering looks really good, especially this picture, this angle. Like, I see no print lines. I see no scratches. This is a very, very clean Scyther. And then even when I flip it over, I'm really not even seeing anything on the edges. So I think this is just lighting, like this like kind of faint white part. I think that's just how the picture was taken, more so than any whitening. I'd say, oh, sorry, you guys can't see the bottom. But man, yeah, this card is in such good shape, man. Yeah, that back is super clean. But again, yeah, if you guys want to vote, I have the poll open, so just type in exclamation point vote followed by the grade number. If you guys are over on YouTube or TikTok. But yeah, man, this Scyther is super clean. Holy. So 10. All right. So yeah, you guys are, honestly, you guys are kind of thinking, if I had a small white speck on the back corner, how much would that affect grading everything else? If everything else was flawless, but with sides you had like a little white speck on a corner, it'd be a 9. Dude, thanks so much for the follow. I appreciate that. So that's kind of how much it would kind of make or break the 10, if that's what you're asking. That's normally, and you might see it here soon with Modern. I tend to go pretty quick because of that reason. But yeah, I honestly think that I'm agreeing with you guys, because, oh, excuse me, you guys have been thinking the chat vote was 10. And judging by the centering, as long as this picture matches what it looks like in person, I genuinely think that this is a good 10 contender. as long as there's nothing else wrong with it that we can't see or whatever, this is a pretty good 10 contender, in my opinion. That is an extremely clean Scyther. Extremely clean. All right, next up. So thank you, Civic, as always, for coming up with some cool looking cards. And so next up we have Game Freak with the Ancient Mew promo. Let those load. And then I would be drawing, but if you guys can probably see it, whoever's on YouTube, you can kind of see my actually, you know what we can do. Let's see. You guys can see a quick so this is who is messing with me right now currently. So my cat Faye is every time I try to draw with my pen, she will smack it right out of my hand. Miss Faye. So it is what it is. There's not much I can do. Shout out the cats, man. Shout out the little cats. Probably shouldn't be encouraging that, but it is what it is. Spoil my cats. The co-grader. Yeah, she's definitely the co-grader for sure. All right. So first up, does anyone, I always like to quiz the chat. Does anyone know the very valuable error that this card has? Does anyone know the valuable Mew error of this promo? Shout out the cats, man. Yes, the Nintendo error. So if you guys have ever seen these Mews, I think it was just for the Japanese, I'm pretty sure, that they spelled Nintendo wrong. So always keep an eye out for that, for the spelling of the Nintendo on these. That's awesome. Oh yeah, Faye is definitely going to be running the show for sure. Okay, so let's take a look. So on this card, I'm actually going to bust out the ruler real quick that Faye is sitting on. So the big thing that I see is that the left side looks a little bit thicker than the right. So on my end, it's a 1/4 inch on the right, and then slightly less than a 1/4 inch on the, or I'm sorry, 1/4 inch on the left, and then slightly less than a 1/4 inch on the right side. But I think it's within that, because people say like within 60-40. But I really kind of think for Pokemon, it's more of like 55-45, in my honest opinion. I've rarely seen a card in the 60-40 range that ended up not getting a deduction. But it does look a little bit thicker, so I would measure that in person. But the back looks well centered from what I can tell. Maybe a little bit thicker on this right side than the left, but yep, it's spelled Nintendo. Yeah, Vic. So definitely check out your Ancient Mews. If it has Nintendo misspelled, it's pretty rare. All right, there goes Faye. I mean, yeah. I mean, based off of what I can tell, I can't see any. I mean, actually, the only thing that I see is this scratch right here. I don't know if you guys can see that on stream or not. Right where the tip of my mouse is, and it would be. For reference, it would be let's see, it'd be this. So if I kind of so now that I have it highlighted, if I kind of toggle it, and of course I didn't save it, so let me try that again. So let me save that. Perfect. Yeah, so that's what it looks like Without the line, I kind of see those. And that's what it looks like right there. Kind of toggle it back and forth. But, and also right here too. It's really just the back based off of what I can tell. So again, let me save that and kind of toggle it on and off. I love this pen tool. Yep. Yeah, you beat me to it, Phoenix. That's what I was seeing too. So I think because of those scratches, I'm assuming that there's probably more that I just simply can't see. But I think because of that, I don't think this would get the 10. I would probably still say like because they don't look bad. You'd probably still get the 9. Maybe an 8. But I still think it's in really good shape. But I think because of those scratches, I don't think they would get the 10. I've been here too long, right, Phoenix? That's what I'm saying. That's, you know what? That's honestly really good to hear. Because that's really kind of what I want this to kind of become, right? It's just that you guys are, you know, we keep kind of coming back. We keep seeing, you know, seeing these cards over and over and over again. And we just kind of really just keep getting better and better as it progresses. To where we're able to just really see. And it's nice too that the setup is in a way that you can actually see what I'm highlighting too, and it's clear enough to where you guys can see it, because that was like one of my biggest worries, is that it was too small. This car is so much hollow, I could be glare. Yeah, and that's what's kind of tough, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm still looking at this as like from a picture that someone took on the internet. I have one and it has the same mark. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, the sealed plastic, man. I posted my photos. Nice, Tim. Looking forward to looking at them. All right, so the reverse rare. Someone was asking me about certain reverse rares. So next up, how rude of me. So next up we have, let's see, who do we have? We have Zesta. Zesta with their submission. So let's take a look at this reverse rare Dragonite Delta species. From Delta Species. Yeah, I hear you, Vic. Ninja Boy, thanks so much for liking the live. And for anyone who has liked and shared and followed and all that fun stuff, I definitely appreciate it. Helps me understand if you guys like what I'm doing and like what I'm sharing, so it really does mean a lot. Okay, so the centering looks good. The only thing that I see, and I've learned here that I'm just going to start doing this, is basically just kind of filling in what I see. Actually, I'm going to still carry it over from the other one. So we got some here, there, there, there. But that's about it on that. On that Dragonite. Get rid of that. That should be still there. Perfect. And on the back, let's see. We have 1, 2, 3. These are so small though. I don't even know if these are actually. Sometimes I don't know if they're like actually on the card or if it's just on the background. But from what I can tell, that's it. What's going on here? We are doing grade review, my friend. So where I review community members' cards for free that submit in our Discord, and I give my my PSA assessment, as well as chat weighs in too on what they think. A little above the right leg. Oh, right here maybe is what I think is what you're seeing. Let's see. This probably. Anything else you guys see? So that's the front. So like kind of toggle on and off. So that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. Anything highlighted in green are the marks that I see. And then on the back, very little, so it might be tougher. And it got erased. Nice. Actually, hold on. Might be able to... No. Top, middle. Talking about, let's see. This. Let's see. So we got that. So top, middle. I'm just gonna highlight these again, because there's really not that many. Right above the E on the back. Might have gotten it. Let me save this time. Yes. Perfect. Okay. So now that we've marked up this Dragonite, so what are you guys thinking? What are you thinking, chat? What do you think this this Dragonite Delta species is going to get us? So again, if you guys are new, if you want to vote on what you think this Dragonite Delta species would get, just type in !vote, followed by the number. So if you're thinking this would get like a PSA 1, you would do !vote 1. And that goes for both YouTube and TikTok. And so another thing is anything you see in green is anything that we've been able to see. So that's kind of like what it looks like before the markup. And that didn't save. That's great. But this one did. So yeah. I don't think, because that's the other one, yeah. It's just those two pictures. So we got some 8s, got some 7s. We're kind of tied, from what I can tell. Got another 7, got an 8. So it looks like the winning chat grade is a 7. So chat is thinking 7. So when I look at this Dragonite, really the only thing I see on the front is just some of the detailing on the front of the Dragonite in the wing area, and just so like you can kind of see some of these scuffs here on the wing, the arm, a little bit on the nose, by the leg, and as we flip it over, we see a little bit of these little white specks on the back as well, but really not that bad, to be honest. But really, I think it's just the kind of these scuffs on the front, because I think if it was on the back, it probably wouldn't be as bad. But since they are right on the Dragonite itself, kind of like the leg, the arm, the wing, a little bit above here, I probably agree with you guys as well, as I think that this would probably get the 7, would be my guess as well. So good job, chat. All right, next up we have Toothless, aka Rayquaza EX Japanese. So let's take a look. I don't know, he's like missing his teeth. I've like never seen this variant before. He's literally like missing his teeth. Oh, there they are. It's blending in. But he still looks like he only has like one tooth. I don't know. What do I know? I'm not an artist. This art is definitely something. Got some like no teeth, and then we have like 1, 2, and then 3. I don't know where the fourth one is. I have no idea. Where is the other teeth, chat? I don't know. But anyway, centering looks good. The hollow foil from this angle looks really good. I mean, this card is in really good shape so far. I even just kind of taking a quick pass with the magnifier tool. I can't even, there's nothing I'm really even seeing. Let me just do this a little bit so you guys can see the bottom. There you go. I mean, really the only thing I probably see is that little scratch in the mouth, maybe. But this is from 2004 Emerald Ray Half Deck. Jeez, the variants. Variants go crazy. All right, so now this one I have to kind of zoom out a little bit because otherwise you won't be able to see it. So have that, have that, have that. I hope hopefully that's not lighting, but I don't really know. Have some here. If you want to, so Tim, if you want to at one of the moderators, they should be able to help you out too. I can once the stream's done, but I just want to make sure that I'm on time. But now I gotta stop using my pen because Faye's back. And then mods meeting in Discord, by the way. Yeah, the front of this card is in immaculate shape. But it's really just like what I've highlighted in green. So I think this one's pretty noticeable. The one on the bottom right and the one on the right side, as well as this left and bottom right corner. Because I think because of that, this is probably still near mint for sure. But I don't think so. Kind of doing like a quick before. Of course, I didn't save it. Why would I save it? If I did that, this, and this. So save it now. So if I kind of do like a before and after, so that's what it looks like before the markup. And this what it'll look like after. I think because of that, I would probably say a 7 again. The front is in immaculate shape, but it's just really the back part. Because this is pretty aggressive whitening on that bottom part, as well as that right side. And this potentially, that might be lighting, but even if that is lighting, that means that it's peeled up, which is why that light is catching on that side, because it's being, the light is coming from the right to the left, and that's why that's glowing like that. So my guess is that it's probably a 7. Let's see. What's the Discord? So if you go to my website, which is galaxiagamingtcg.com, and in the social section, there's a Discord icon. So just tap that. It'll send you an invite to the Discord once you verified yourself. There's a channel called Grade Review. So you just post your pictures in there. You can post as many as you want. It's completely free, but it is first come, first serve. So there's limited to 5 per person per week. But again, it's completely free, and both myself and chat, depending on how many people are in chat, will vote. So normally when there's like a little bit like 10 or more, I'll have chat vote, but if there's a little bit less than that, just to kind of keep the pace, I just tend to just kind of do it myself. But that's pretty much the gist of it. All right, next up is the light Dragonite. Let me see make sure that the front and back are good. Perfect. All right, so right off the bat, we have issues on the top. So pretty much that entire top right section has some pretty significant whitening. But then on the back, really wish I didn't do that. On the back, we have not nearly as much. This can be removed for sure. What I just circled. The back is in really good shape. It's just the front. The front, that top edge. Gabby, thanks so much for liking the live. Welcome back. I actually got my cat with me helping me today with the grading process. She's being my co-grader. The left is a little bit thicker on the back. Yeah, I can see that. It's probably like, I'd still probably say it's still within that 55-45 range. But, and then maybe something here too. But, let me just save these before I forget. But I'm thinking with just this part up here, so you can kind of see a lot of that whitening on that top edge. I just don't think that that's near mint plus. You know, I think the back is saving it a lot for sure. So I'd probably say this would probably get a 7 because of that. Because if that whitening wasn't on the front, I'd be, you know, I probably would still say a 7 regardless, because that whitening is pretty aggressive. I'm not gonna lie to you. But David, welcome. And again, for those of you who are new here, let's shift back to the cat cam here. So this is Faye. She's helping me grade today. She's a good little girl. Oh, Miss Faye. She's gonna be our entertainment here while we do grade review. So normally what will happen is I have my pad that I'll have the pen, and so what happens is once she sees me writing on it or shaking, she'll bite the tip of the pen or bite the end of the pen. So I can't really do the review for very long because then she'll just swat it out of my hand. So can't do that for too long. So I'll have to use my mouse, which is ironic, using a mouse around a cat. I'll Miss Faye. All right, so the dark Espeon. Let's see, the left side's a little bit thicker. So this part, a little bit thicker than the right. So it's a little off center, but not by much. The hollow is in really good shape based off of this angle. And then the back we got a little bit something there. Have something here. I don't know what that is. But it doesn't look too bad. The top is thin. Yeah, on the front. Is that what we're talking about? Yeah, it looks like the left and the right, or the left and the bottom are the thicker parts to the top and the right. But yeah, I'd say all in all, because of like how good this that hollow is on this Espeon, the front of this card is in really good shape. Aside from the centering. And there's really little, there's probably 1, 2, 3, maybe that. And then whatever this is, but I don't know, that could probably be removed, I would guess. Yeah. So I'd probably say that because of this, I'd probably say that this would probably get an 8. Because this centering looks a little bit rough on the left and the bottom, that you might be getting the 8 because of the centering, but still really good. And then last but not least, the Kabutops from Neo Discovery. First edition, mind you. I always like this artwork, how badass this thing looks. Centering looks really good. Corners look good. Edges look good. The hollow looks really good. So far, really good condition Kabutops. And on the back, wow, this card looks really good, chat. This card looks really good. Nine, no swirl. Is it a 9 because it doesn't have a swirl? Is that what you're saying, Phoenix? Could you imagine? Little in the top left. Yeah, I think this might, if you're talking about like, this can probably just be removed. Like the hair, whatever this is. Like, I think these can probably just be wiped off. Pulled from a pack, if it gets a 10, it saves everything. Yeah, I think if you can kind of get rid of these little white specks in the top left, and maybe, I don't know what that is in the bottom left-hand corner. I would say if you pulled this from a pack, and I don't see any print lines or anything like that, I would probably send this regardless, to be honest. Because I don't see any obvious like whitening of the corners or anything like that. I feel like the stuff in the top left can probably just be wiped off. It definitely has a chance as a PSA 10. I think this is a good 10. I think this is a good 10 contender, in my opinion. It is an extremely, extremely clean card. So I would submit this if I were you, for sure. All right, so let's see. So next up, we have, it was like peanut butter, I think. Was their name peanut butter with bacon? We got someone was asking me not too long ago about the ROI question, and this is going to be a really good example of that. So for modern specifically, we tend to go pretty quick, and the reason why we do go pretty quick is because we're really kind of going for 10s or busts when it comes to modern. And the two biggest issues that I always see for modern is it's either off center and or there's some whitening on the corners. Those are probably the biggest two. And I can tell pretty much right off the bat from this Dragonite V that the centering on the right side is a bit thicker than the left. As well as what appears to be the top is a little bit thicker than the bottom. So I think because of that, it might not. Again, I always recommend measuring this stuff in person. Like, I can only look at how the angle of the picture was taken or whatever. But I think because of the centering of this Dragonite, I don't think it would get the 10. But definitely measure the top to the bottom and then the right to the left and the front, especially. And then for the Rayquaza, so for full arts like this, how I measure centering on the front is I look at these like little white sections right here, kind of like in the middle of the card, middle-ish of the card. So as long as these measure 50-50, it looks good. And judging by this picture, those look to be really well centered. So hopefully, fingers crossed on the back, there's no whitening on the corners, and it doesn't appear to be. And I think how the picture was taken, this is making me think that it almost looks like it's miscut, because there's like this glow, this like light glow that makes it almost looks like it's miscut. But I think this Rayquaza VMAX has a pretty good shot at a 10. So I would definitely submit this Rayquaza for sure. And then the Leafeon VMAX, I think because again, this Leafeon VMAX with the centering really good on the front in those white sections, and if we flip it over, again, I don't see any whitening on the corners. Yeah, I think both the Leafeon and the Rayquaza are in really good shape. So I like how he's looking down as he's looking for his next prey. Are you talking about the Rayquaza? I want to hope that you're talking about the Leafeon. Like looking for all like the Rattatas scurrying out of the hay bales. That's honestly, you know what? I'm gonna say that that's what you're saying because that's funnier to me. Oh, for sure. Yeah, the EV tax is a thing, especially, I mean, evolving skies tax is a thing, and then on top of that, having an evolution is definitely true for sure. But yeah, I'd say your Rayquaza and your Leafeon are really good candidates for sure. But yeah. So all in all, really good submissions tonight, chat. Let me just go to my just chatting. So that was pretty much it. It was a pretty good review today. Had a lot of like really good conditions, like ranging of conditions to look at. So that was really cool. Let me turn my chat over here as I wrap up for the night. But I figured while I'm wrapping up, just talk with you guys for a little bit. Yeah, the Flareon, all the promos are sick. The Jolteon, I mean, I'm a big, my favorite evolution is Jolteon, for sure. But I can't, I'm just so excited for Team Rocket to come out, man. That set's gonna be so cool. It's probably gonna be one of the few sets I actually buy to open, to be honest. I feel like how people are collecting, like how 151 has been really popular. I think Team Rocket's also going to have that same popularity. I really hope that they have some really good cards in there. But I really hope that they do. Like, it'd be such a missed opportunity if they drop the ball on that. But hopefully not. Hopefully it's all good. Hopefully there's nothing weird. But yeah, it was a super cool submission today, Vic, for sure. For sure. And then hopefully I have the cleaning. I think 2 more cards I gotta clean. But I might just do those off stream because I gotta get those done. But there's only 2. Because those are gonna be for a someone's submission. So I probably gotta get those done because my magnifier battery died yesterday, so I had to like wait for it to charge. But yeah, so that's pretty much it, chat. Again, if you guys are wondering how to submit again to grade review, the cards are in the queue is pretty low. So if you just go to the Discord and just submit your cards in the grade review channel, that should be pretty good, and then it'll be queued for next week. Nah, Tim, unfortunately I can't, because I tried doing that before and it was just too many people got upset because I was doing it out of order, and honestly I end at 9:30 normally, because I have to edit this. I have to basically download the VOD, edit the VOD, make the clips, upload the clips, or schedule them. So I unfortunately gotta bounce. But hopefully you understand, because I pretty much do all my stuff in house. I do my own editing, I do my own uploading, I do my own, like, everything it's just me doing it. But yeah. So I'm going to wrap it up there, guys. So thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight for episode 30. I had a lot of really cool cards. I was able to say some 10s, which is good. So hopefully if you guys do decide to submit those, definitely would love to see what those results are by showing us in the Discord. It's always appreciated. So until the next one, the next stream should be on Monday, or if there's another one coming up this week. Those are more of like impromptu, depending on if I have the time, but I have a lot of video editing I got to do, so probably not. But regardless, there will be one on Monday anyway, and we go back at it at episode 31. So thank you guys so much for all the support. It really does mean a lot.